I have sold $550 buyer number 155. Is that right, sir? 155.
Good evening. I am Cal Wick, and I'm president of the board of Canine Partners for Life. And on behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome each of you for being here tonight and supporting our wonderful organization. This is the 13th annual wine auction, and Darlene Sullivan, who is our founder and executive director, is not with us tonight because she is with her dad, George Burkhart, who is not well. And this wine auction is actually George's inspiration. And even though Darlene is not here, this part is going to be videotaped. And I think for George and for Darlene, if we could just have a round of applause. Somebody today asked me, saying that standing round of applause, how I got involved with Canine Partners with CPL. And I said it is the only newsletter that I read month in and month out that I always end up crying. And crying with a sense of hope in terms of what these wonderful dogs do with recipients. And I know that Darlene and George will both appreciate your standing ovation. We now place more than 400 dogs in 41 states, and you've been seeing pictures of recipients and puppies. But I'd like to introduce one recipient tonight, Cindy Marks and her dog, Monty, so that you can hear
this one. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Canine Partners for Life asked me to talk about a little bit how Monty changed my life. And I can't express in 5 minutes how Monty has changed my life. He's made it terrific for the 7 years we've been together. He's made it so terrific that I felt the need to write a book, which is over there ready for auction for some lucky person tonight. The book is a children's book about what Monty does in our daily life. I'm an occupational therapist, and he's helped so many more people than just myself. All the children that I work with have a special bond with Monty, and he's made their lives much better for it. One of my favorite things for him to do is to help the nurses when they take blood from some little girl or boy's arm. The boy or girl doesn't like that. So Monty licks their other hand, and they don't even notice that the needle goes in, the blood's drawn, it's all over, and Monty's still licking their hand and making it all better. That's one of my favorite things he's done. So I wanted to thank Canine Partners for Life for giving me Monty and making not only my life special, but all the children that I work with too. Thank you.
I would like to thank our sponsors that make this evening possible. Mr. Dean Cesario, who is not with us this evening, is our honorary chairperson. Garrett and Tanya Copeland, Betty Moran, Tori Kitchell, Robert and Margaret Dupre, Alice Malone, Lisa Mosley, Wendy and David Twain, Carol Ware, Ted and Penny Ashford, Wink and Mary Lou Del Duca. We have a round of applause. stations that add great spirit. Bouchain Vineyards, the Wine and Spirit Company of Greenville, Deerfield Fine Wines, Preston Wine and Spirits, Moore Brothers Wine Company. Our auctioneer, Mr. David Yearsley, Michelle Collison is going to be our wine commentator, and Tanya McNee is going to be our commentator. So this will be our evolving evening. One of the things that's really wonderful about Canine Partners is people that just come and are willing to help. And so in the back we have the Keystone Corvette Club. And Ann, if you have not yet put a ticket in so that I might potentially drive that car, I think that would be a good thing to do before the evening. And then is Brian here, who's got this? Come on up. So Brian came to us and said, I would like to do something special to both raise money for Canine Partners and to spread your name. So that's this fancy car that's over here. Brian often goes a lot faster than just walking up.
Thanks. I'm Brian Gomez. I'm from Chester Springs. My daughter and I have an 11-year-old daughter who went with me to the open house. And last year we had put, on a Corvette very similar to that one, we had put over 500 dog bones and raised over $5,500 for the SPCA. After going to the open house, my daughter looks at me and says, couldn't we raise money for these guys too? So, of course, I cried a little bit. So that RX-8 over there is going to be on some of the country's best racetracks this summer, competing in one lap of America. And if you'd like to give a $20 donation to CPL, we're not taking any of it, it all goes to CPL. We will put your name, your pet's name, your ex-wife's name, whatever you'd like on that car. So thank you for your support. We have about $2,500 that we've raised so far that we'd like to give to you now.
Now, the one thing I just would like to hold a brief practice session, so everybody raise your right hand, like this, up, right? Okay, now raise your right hand, holding your bidding card. And your object tonight is to make sure that your hand stays up longer than anybody else's. And when you were bidding, and you were down to that last $10, think about it this way. $10 for you, $10 for a dog, $10 for a recipient, and then do it again. Thank you. This is just to make sure that Ann really understands it's that red Corvette and that corner over there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Randy Hofer. I'm the board chair for Keystone State Corvette Club. We're thrilled to be here, but I don't want to take up too much of your time, but funny story, that red car just happened to be the one my wife and I were coming to the event with tonight. It's a 1996. It's not the 2012 that we're going to be giving away in December. What happened was our president was coming down with his, he made a wrong turn, ended up at the Chase on the other side of Wilmington, made a U-turn, and this is the display car that was supposed to be here. You might have seen it on the flatbed leaving. Something happened with the clutch and he couldn't drive it. So he calls me frantically and he says, I hope you're on your way, and what are you driving? And I said, well, we just happened to be driving that one. So that's how that car got here. Anyway, that was great. We just hooked up with CPL this year. We're thrilled, and if you'd like to come over and check out what we do with our donation, which is December 3rd, Penn Oaks Country Club, we have our grand ball, and we give away the car at that point. We call the new owner, and we say, come on down, have a drink with us, and you just want a brand new Corvette. They don't believe it. Bob's been doing it for 37 years. We've given away one every single year, and we just hope that you can come over, support the charity, because all of it also goes back to this charity tonight. So thank you very much.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got one more thing to do before we start the live auction this evening. We would like to invite Jackie Paul to come up here and make an announcement for us, a dedication actually. And we would like her to do that, and then we will we'll start with the live auction.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for coming to support Canine Partners tonight in the 13th annual wine auction. As Cal already mentioned, we're missing two very important people at Canine Partners, George and Barbara Burkhart. I've been involved with Canine Partners. I'm the harness technician there, and I've worked for Canine Partners since 1995. George taught me everything I needed to know about making harnesses for our service dogs, and I'm really proud to do that job now. We're going to miss George being here with us tonight, but I hope that you all will join me in a toast to him. Raise your glasses and send him your best wishes. To George and Barbara.